Caitlyn Clark just told the entire WNBA no, and what happens next could change this league forever. Before you scroll past this video, I need you to understand something. What you're about to hear isn't just a story about a three-point contest. It's the moment a 23-year-old rookie stopped asking for respect and started demanding it. Stick around because by the end of this video you'll understand exactly why the entire league office is nervous right now. Welcome back to WNBA Analysis. Let's get right into it. This comes straight from CBS Sports PR and official WNBA communications, so there's no spin here. This is just fact. The July 18th New York Liberty vs. Indiana Fever game on CBS is now the second most watched WNBA game since the year 2000, averaging 2.579 million viewers and peaking at exactly 3 million. 3 million viewers. For one player. Let that number sink in for a second. 3 million people made an active decision to stop whatever they were doing and tune in for a regular season game in July. Not the finals. Not an elimination game. A random Friday matchup in the middle of the summer. And who else in this league is pulling in numbers like that? Nobody. Not one other player is even in the conversation. Now here's where it gets interesting. The same woman responsible for those numbers just told the WNBA exactly what she thinks of their three-point contest invitation. She said no. Flat out declined. And after everything that's happened to her this season, can you really blame her? Because what we're witnessing right now isn't just a rookie having a moment. It's Caitlyn Clark entering a completely new phase of her WNBA career. Call it her, I don't owe you anything anymore era. And the league is about to learn a very expensive lesson about what happens when you take your biggest star for granted. Let's look at the full picture because it's honestly staggering. This season alone, CBS now holds the top 2 most watched WNBA games on any network, and both of them feature Caitlyn Clark. Not most of them. Not some of them. Both. Every single one. She holds the highest rated game on Amazon Prime. She holds the highest rated game on USA Network. And now she holds the highest rated game on CBS. One rookie. 3 completely different broadcasting platforms. Every single ratings record broken by the same person. So let's address the elephant in the room that nobody in this league wants to talk about. How is it possible that one player is responsible for every ratings record across multiple networks, and we're still out here debating who the face of this league is? At this point, arguing that someone else drives viewership like this isn't just wrong, it's Olympic-level mental gymnastics. Ionescu Wilson is an incredible player, phenomenal talent, an MVP-caliber season. But she's not bringing 3 million viewers to CBS. Breanna Stewart is elite, a champion, a legend of this league. But her games aren't breaking Amazon Prime records. Sabrina Ionescu is a fan favorite with one of the most exciting games in the league. But USA Network's biggest night didn't come from her. It came from Caitlyn. This isn't about disrespecting anyone. This is about looking at the numbers and refusing to lie about what they say. So here's what actually happened. The WNBA reached out to Caitlyn Clark, Sabrina Ionescu, and Kelsey Mitchell to invite them to the All-Star three-point contest. All 3 declined. Now, Sabrina's decision makes sense on its own. She'd already gone on record saying she wouldn't compete unless Caitlyn did too. But Caitlyn's decision? That's the one that sends a message. Think about what the three-point contest actually represents. It's the marquee event of All-Star Weekend. It drives viewership. It creates viral highlights. It generates massive social media buzz. And if Caitlyn Clark had said yes, it would have absolutely shattered every participation and viewership record in the event's history. The league knows this. CBS knows this. Every sponsor attached to this event knows this. And she said no anyway. Because Caitlyn Clark is done trying to please people who were never going to appreciate her in the first place. You've got players talking about needing to corner her at All-Star Weekend to have a conversation, like she's the problem. Meanwhile, she's the reason there's a bigger paycheck, a bigger spotlight, and a bigger stage for every single player in this league to stand on. So instead, the three-point contest field is Bridget Carlton, Nalissa Smith, Natisha Heedman, Ryan Howard, Marina Mabrey, and Jonquil Jones. Talented players, some elite shooters in that group. Marina Mabrey and Ryan Howard in particular can absolutely light it up from deep. But ask yourself honestly, how many casual fans are clearing their schedule to watch a three-point contest without Caitlyn Clark in it? The diehards will still watch. The numbers will be solid. But solid isn't what the WNBA needed for their biggest showcase of the summer. They needed record-breaking, and they lost at the moment their biggest star said no. There's another storyline building in Indiana that's forcing some very uncomfortable questions, and WNBA legend Cynthia just said the quiet part out loud. Who is the Fever's actual superstar? Caitlyn Clark or Kelsey Mitchell? On the surface that might sound unnecessary. They're both talented. They're both on the same roster. Why does there need to be a hierarchy at all? Because every single championship team in this league has one. The Las Vegas Aces run through Aya Wilson. The New York Liberty's offense flows through Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu with clearly defined roles. The Dallas Wings know exactly who takes the last shot. The Indiana Fever do not have that clarity, and it is already showing up in the moments that matter most. There are late-game possessions where you can see the hesitation. Who's taking this shot? Whose possession is this supposed to be? That half-second of confusion is the difference between a win and a loss in a league this competitive. Kelsey Mitchell is a genuinely excellent scorer, averaging over 20 points a game and capable of getting a bucket whenever she needs one. She's been the engine of this franchise for years, and last season, when Caitlyn went down with an injury, Kelsey carried this team to the edge of a playoff spot almost single-handedly. That matters. That's real. But Caitlyn Clark is a generational talent whose impact goes far beyond the scoreboard. She's averaging over 8 assists a game as a rookie. She makes every single teammate around her better. She draws so much defensive attention that she creates open shots for everyone on the floor. And, most importantly, she is the reason millions of people are watching the Indiana Fever in the first place. Championship teams don't get built on two players who can both be the guy. They get built on one clear leader and a supporting cast that understands and embraces their role. Right now, Indiana doesn't have that. And the salary cap is going to force this decision whether the front office is ready or not. This league does not allow you to pay two max contracts to two players competing for the same role forever. A choice is coming, and it should be an obvious one. Here's what makes Caitlyn's three-point contest decision land so hard when you zoom out. This is a player who just delivered the highest CBS ratings of any WNBA game this season. She's brought unprecedented national attention to this league. Her presence has directly translated into bigger contracts and bigger paydays for players across the entire WNBA. The Fever now fly private because of the revenue she personally generated. And what has she gotten in return? Flagrant fouls that go uncalled. Physical play that crosses well past the line of normal basketball contact. Veterans openly discussing cornering her at All-Star Weekend like she owes them an apology for being good at basketball. A media narrative constantly working overtime to spread the credit anywhere except where the numbers actually point. Remember earlier this season when Fever fans were publicly labeled the dark side by opposing players? That wasn't a throwaway comment. That was a window into how a part of this league genuinely views the attention Caitlyn has brought with her. Instead of embracing a rising tide that's lifting every single boat in this league, there's been resistance. Resentment. A persistent insistence that she somehow has to earn a spot she's already broken every historical record to reach. So when the league comes calling, asking her to help boost their all-star ratings one more time, she said no. And she has every right to. Why should she go out of her way to elevate an event for a league that has met her regular season dominance with jealousy and criticism instead of protection and gratitude? Think about the position this puts the WNBA in. They spent years trying to grow this league, chasing better TV deals, bigger sponsorships, wider audiences. And then a generational talent walks through the door and delivers all of it in a single rookie season. She did exactly what the league spent a decade trying to accomplish. And instead of building the entire marketing machine around her, there's been this bizarre, self-defeating resistance to simply saying the obvious thing out loud. Let's connect this back to Indiana because these two storylines are not separate, they're the same story. Caitlyn Clark is entering a phase where she is done trying to win over people who were never going to be won over. And that mentality isn't going to stay confined to All-Star Weekend. It's going to extend to how she views her future with this franchise. The Kelsey Mitchell situation needs to be resolved, and if Indiana wants to build something that lasts, it needs to be resolved in Caitlyn's favor. Not because Kelsey isn't talented, but because you build a dynasty around a generational player, not around a very good one. The Fever have a real chance to be the franchise Caitlyn Clark plays her entire prime for. But that only happens if they make it unmistakably clear whose team this is. And here's the part that should genuinely worry the league office. Caitlyn Clark is not going to wait around forever for anyone to figure this out. We just watched her say no to the WNBA on national television, essentially. If Indiana doesn't give her a clear, undisputed path to being the face of this franchise, she is going to start weighing her options the moment her contract allows it. No player in WNBA history has ever had this level of individual leverage. She could request a trade to virtually any franchise in this league, and that franchise would instantly become must-watch television. She's not just a great player anymore, She is a television event, a business, a movement. And the WNBA has never had to figure out how to keep a player like this happy before. This is genuinely uncharted territory for the league. So when you see her decline a three-point contest invitation, don't treat it like a small, isolated story. Treat it like what it actually is: the opening move in a completely new relationship between Caitlyn Clark and the league that's supposed to be protecting her. She's done being the person who always says yes, who always goes the extra mile, who always puts everyone else's interests ahead of her own, while getting nothing back but criticism and cheap shots. Look, if you've made it this far, I already know you're not a casual fan. You're someone who actually cares about seeing this league treat its players, especially the ones changing the entire game, the right way. That means something to us here at WNBA Analysis, more than you probably realize. We're a small channel telling the stories the mainstream WNBA coverage won't touch. Every single subscribe, every comment, every share, that's not just a number to us. That's you telling us this story mattered, that Caitlyn deserved to have her side heard, that fairness in this league is worth fighting for. So if this video moved you even a little bit, do us a real favor and hit that subscribe button right now. It genuinely helps this channel keep doing what we're doing, and it means the world to us. We're not going anywhere, but we'd love for you to be here with us for what's coming next. The three-point contest is going to happen without her. It'll be fine. The ratings will be decent. The highlights will be nice enough. But everyone watching will quietly know it could have been so much bigger, and maybe, just maybe, that realization finally sinks in for the people who've spent an entire season taking their biggest star for granted. Because Caitlyn Clark just proved something the WNBA needs to sit with. She doesn't need this league nearly as much as this league needs her. And that is a very, very dangerous position for a league to be in. That's it for this one. This has been WNBA Analysis. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's coming next. See you in the next video.